When it comes to firearms, many people look for something compact yet powerful. And that's where short-barreled rifles, or SBRs, really shine. But have you ever wondered how you can actually own one legally? It's not as simple as buying a regular rifle. There are specific regulations and paperwork you need to navigate to stay compliant with federal laws. So, if you're thinking about adding an SBR to your collection, stick with us. We'll walk you through each step, making your journey to SBR ownership as smooth as possible. What exactly is an SBR? Before we dive into the steps, let's cover the basics. What exactly is an SBR? It's a compact firearm that still packs the punch and accuracy of a full-sized rifle. To be classified as an SBR, it needs a barrel shorter than 16 inches, which makes it super easy to handle in tight spaces without losing any power. Plus, the overall length has to be at least 26 inches. Now, these little powerhouses can easily be misused if they fall into the wrong hands, which is why SBRs are under such strict regulations and aren't just available to anyone. So, before you can legally own one, you'll go through a special process. It might seem like a bit of a hassle, but it's all to ensure these firearms are used responsibly. Essential steps: eligibility first. You need to decide, do you want to build your own SBR from an existing rifle, or do you want to buy one already manufactured as an SBR straight from a dealer? There are two main paths to legal ownership, and each has its own process. If you're modifying an existing rifle into an SBR, you'll use the Form 1 application. But if you're buying a pre-built SBR from a dealer, you'll need Form 4. Choosing your route early will definitely make your journey smoother. Both processes involve sending your application to the ATF, that's the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, along with your fingerprints and a passport-style photo. This allows them to run a background check through the FBI database, making sure you don't have any criminal history or domestic violence charges. This whole process can take months because the ATF wants to ensure these SBRs end up in the right hands. And yes, age matters here. You need to be at least 21 years old to buy an SBR from a licensed dealer. However, if you're making one yourself, the minimum age is 18. These age limits are in place because SBRs are considered high risk due to their concealability, so they're restricted to individuals mature and responsible enough to handle them safely. What's your choice? So, how are you leaning when it comes to owning an SBR? If you're looking to buy a pre-manufactured one, plenty of manufacturers legally produce them. This means you get a fully assembled firearm ready to go right out of the box, which can save you time since there's no modification needed on your end. The convenience might come with a slightly higher price tag, and you'll need to be patient as the approval process can take anywhere from months to over a year. On the other hand, if you love to customize and already own a rifle or pistol, converting it into an SBR could be perfect. Want a specific barrel length or a favorite grip? Building your own gives you that freedom. This involves submitting a Form 1 to the ATF along with your fingerprints and passport photos. Once approved, you can convert your existing weapon. Just make sure all your modifications follow ATF regulations. This option is often more affordable since you already have the firearm, and you can choose parts that fit your budget, making it a cost-effective way to create a custom SBR. Excited about the DIY process? ATF forms. If you've decided to build your own SBR from an existing firearm, you'll notify the ATF by submitting Form 1. You'll just fill out the form with details about the firearm you plan to modify, like its model number. Once you get the green light, you're all set to transform your weapon into an SBR. However, if you're going for a factory-made SBR, you'll fill out Form 4. This form provides the ATF with all the necessary information for their verification. After approval, the ATF will transfer the firearm into your name, and your SBR will be ready to use without further modifications. With either form, you'll also need to submit fingerprints and passport photos so the ATF can verify your identity, ensuring only you can handle the firearm. For fingerprints, you'll need 2 clear readable copies done professionally. Your passport photos must be recent and clearly show your face. NFA tax stamp. Whether you're buying or building an SBR, there's a $200 fee. It's a standard and unavoidable part of the application process. While it might sound a bit pricey, this tax stamp is definitely worth it once you're enjoying your SBR. The best part? It's a one-time fee per firearm. Once paid and approved, that SBR is yours, with no additional costs like annual renewals. The tax stamp stays valid as long as you own that specific firearm. If you decide you want more SBRs, just be ready to pay another $200 for each new addition. Submitting the application. Now this is where patience really comes in. Once you've filled out the forms, paid the tax stamp, and gathered all your documents, it's time to submit. Your application will be thoroughly reviewed by the ATF, so it does take time. If you're lucky, you might get approval in a few weeks, but usually it takes several months, sometimes even longer. Don't be surprised if you wait 6 months or more. Delays can happen due to high-demand backlogs or extended background checks. Even minor errors in your paperwork can cause delays, as the ATF has to double-check everything. So make sure everything is accurate to speed things up as much as possible. Here's some good news for those taking the Form 1 route. Customizing your own SBR. Electronic submissions can significantly speed up the process compared to mailing in physical paperwork, as e-forms move through the system much faster. However, Form 4 still requires a physical review, so the wait time for those is typically longer. Curious about your application status? If you've submitted electronically, you can check it online using the ATF tracking system. Just log in to see if it's pending, under review, or approved. For those who submitted paper applications, there's no online tracking, but you can still call or email the ATF for updates. We know you're excited to get your SBR, but waiting patiently will make it all worthwhile in the end. Approval process. After months of waiting, you finally get the green light. Once your application is approved, the ATF will send you an official tax stamp along with the registered paperwork for your SBR. This is proof that your firearm is officially registered under the NFA, and it confirms you're the legal and authorized owner. Keep it safe. Make a few copies and store the original at home to avoid damage or loss. Always keep a copy with you whenever you're using or carrying your SBR, as you might be asked to show it. Just have your papers handy, and you'll be all set to legally enjoy your SBR. So, owning an SBR legally requires a lot of attention and patience. While it's a lengthy process, it protects you from penalties, allowing you to enjoy your firearm with confidence. That's a wrap for our video today. Thanks for joining us, and take care.